ChainCulture.
Thank you. Hey guys, good morning and selamat pagi. So yeah, I'm sorry. I hope you guys are doing well. I have my notes here. It's been like a hectic week, so just in case I forgot something, I have something that as a backup. And also, it's my first time, so just bear with me. Uh, and yeah, just a bit of introduction about myself. I used to be a lead design for a stable app for the past 3 years. And it was also my first time working in the Web3 ecosystem. And today I'll be sharing my experience working as a one-person team, design team specifically. And I hope we will learn something together. So yeah, without further ado, all thing design done by one. Let me get the clicker. All right, the reality of being a one-person team. So who can relate to this? Any? So I think this is like normal, right? When you guys are in the startup environment, you know, they'll give you like a title of design lead, but actually there's only one of you. And yeah, this was me for the past 3 years, and I enjoy it. And then this is something that I agree on, and it's something that I wanna learn. And yeah, the reality, you're not just a designer. You're basically your strategist, writer, developer. You're a motion artist all at once. And I also had the chance to become a event planner for the team. And it's both empowering and exhausting. And every decision, visual, verbal, technical, runs through you before to the upper leadership team. And what you're doing is not like a design department. Actually, you're designing an ecosystem of one for the company. And again, you're wearing multiple hats from logo, motion, copywriting, and then all of a sudden you have to jump into video editing. So it's like everywhere. But it's a challenge that I found interesting, and I enjoy it for the past 3 years. And of course, you have to time manage, prioritize what matter most, and also you want to have like creative flow, and sometimes but you have to be careful. You become tunnel vision when you're doing it all alone. And of course, you have to build discipline and process when working alone. And of course, the emotional side is like sometimes you get burnout or self-doubt. You don't know which design it's good to show to your leadership team. And some of the thing that I'll be discussing on how you can get through it even though you're just a one-man design team. It's of course building process and discipline. Process is your silent teammates. Documentation is your savior. Basically, having a good documentation is the key for everything, especially if you're a one-person team. And having a solid system you use to manage everything, it's also something that will come in handy from time to time. And of course, because you're a one-person team, you want to figure out a way on how you can avoid burnout and maintain creative rhythm as well. Next thing is the creativity and collaboration. So this is something that I learned because before this, I was working in like 20% team, and it was a lot of ideas that I can pick from everyone in the team. But for the past 3 years, when I joined the startup, and there's like only 9 of us, I have to kind of figure out which one that I can work with and then get the creative idea. So team collaboration, invest the time getting to know each of your team member, and you're like different in different time zone, but I think having that time to kind of getting to know each other will pay a lot in the future. And also experiment with fluid async style and using AI tool like ChatGPT and empathy in design. We're designing for people, not pixel. And you have to be adaptable. You have to get used to changing or working on different things in one day. And of course, with a bit of humility, your team member or your coworker will work easily with you. And this is another thing I want to kind of share with you guys, design as a storytelling. So this just a bit of gist of the past of my work for the past 3 years. I think this is just 2% of it. And like, you know, as a one-person design team, I like to approach each design project as a storytelling. So every design is a story, and it's told through like concept, color, shape, motion, and emotion. So when I'm designing, it's like I'm trying to tell a story about like what's the brand is, what they believe, and how, you know, people want to feel or achieve their goals, and many more. So for example, here you can see on the top left, like for example, I choose a darker color for the Stable Lab website. It's to bring emotion of like professional, serious, and premium. And then on the right side, I choose a lighter tone for the force terminals to bring the emotion of clarity and transparency. So again, like in design, people don't remember future. They remember how something made them feel, you know? It's the emotion. Like for example, you know, like I'm wearing New Balance here. The emotion I have is more like casual streetwear. It's relatable to me on top of the stage. So imagine if I wear like Nike sport shoes, I might not relate here, you know? It's a different emotion. So when you work alone, storytelling becomes like a language, like yeah, your language of collaboration. It helps to explain design decision of your team, align vision, and make sure your every touch point speaks the same story. And also some tips for like CEO or founder with one designer, you know, because I had the chance to work really close with the CEO. He was very kind, and then like he listened to me, and then he you know he's easy to work with, but he's also had his own vision. And for me as a designer, my responsibility is kind of like figure out how can I blend that together, right? So you know, uh, treat design as a strategy, not a decoration. Make sure you talk to your designer often, and also from a designer perspective, make sure you ask your leadership team a lot of questions. Like make sure you talk to them daily. And then give context, just not tasks, because the more context you give, the better your design team will be. You know? And of course, protect their focus if you can. I know there'll be like 10 million things that you want to do, you want them to do, or you want that designer to do. But if they can have like a good focus, it'll have like a better outcome. And encourage ownership, not approval. So basically, when they own the project, when they own the task, they will feel more appreciated. They feel like they're listened to, and they'll create like a better design. And invest in tools and feedback. Make sure you're not, you know, make sure your designer have a not the Figma, not the free Figma account, but the paid one, you know. And then remember, one designer, one voice for your entire brand. So yeah, this is my last slide. And no, sorry, this is the last two slides. So why done by one matters? It's, you know, it's okay to not know all the answer, but make sure to look for it, you know, as a one design team. And experiment, you know, experiment and fail productively. The more experiment you do, the better the outcome will become. Like for example, like throughout my entire career together with them for the past 3 years, I think we changed from Slack to Threads and come back to Slack. And then we figure out which one is the best way to communicate. And that's just one example. And then, you know, another example is kind of like experiment what tools out there to you know, to make your feedback or your work productivity become better. And then creativity scales when you stay curious, you know, just ask a lot of like why and how when you're doing design. It helps, you know. And then process beat perfection. So make sure you have like a solid process on when you're doing your task as a designer. And you know, you can always improve on the process itself. And document your process because process save you when inspiration doesn't. So documentation is very important, guys. Like don't skip on that. And another thing, last thing, documentation is king. It's true. For the past 3 years, I've been doing a lot of like documentation. I know as a designer, we don't like to type. Instead, we just like to sketch and draw. But writing kind of help, you know, especially nowadays when like technology of AI, when you document, it help you kind of like, you know, practice writing as well. So just a quote for CEO for a one-person design team. You don't need a big team to build big ideas. You just need the courage to start. And for CEO, start small, think big, and stay calm. And yeah, thank you guys. I know it's lunchtime after this. I'm Raydi Cham, and this was my short story of designing all things done by one. By the way, I'm currently exploring new design opportunities. If any of you guys are working on exciting products or brand and need a designer, feel free to reach out after this session. I love to connect. Sorry if I read a lot, but yeah, it was my first time, and nice seeing you all. Thank you for your time. Thank you, HiveFest and ChainCulture. Have a good weekend and enjoy your lunch, guys.
ChainCulture.